Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Erin, a virtual assistant coach, where I talk tips, tools, and tech for virtual assistants. If you're familiar with this channel, you'll know that I've been silent for a little while. We had a lot going on. I actually moved across the country. Welcome to my new apartment with almost no furniture. And this week, I wanted to share something very different with you guys. I'm sharing a coaching session that I had with one of my own coaches. Now, in 2022, some parts of the world are just now moving on from COVID. And myself, emotionally, I found that I was having some hard time kind of getting back to a level of productivity and motivation and excitement that I was at many years ago. So I thought I would actually share my session with you guys because I'm hoping that it will resonate with some of you. Whether you're a new virtual assistant or an established VA, if you feel like you've been struggling to maintain motivation, if you feel like you've been struggling with burnout, if you feel like your mind and focus just isn't quite where it used to be, I hope that this session that I'm about to share resonates with you guys.
So, yeah, I'm so excited to hear what's going on. I know we're doing a mini session today. So, what would you like some coaching around?
Yes, I've been really struggling pretty much since the pandemic with productivity. Like, I feel like it really took a turn for the worse when things were like bad 2020, 2021. But we're like kind of getting out of the pandemic now, and my productivity hasn't really come back. So I'm just having a weird hard time like focusing. Like, I don't feel like I'm as focused or as like driven as I was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
As a freelancer, that's really bad. Like, I definitely need to be more focused so that like I don't know. I constantly feel like I'm not doing great work like I used to be doing, if that makes sense.
Like, in what way? Like, what ways have you noticed that it's changed?
I feel like my like most obvious, I think, to my clients is that my turnaround time is a little slower. Like, I always used to pride myself in if people, and I have multiple clients. So if people emailed me or texted me, I'd get back to them right away. And then I could turn something around like super fast. Like, that was kind of like my bread and butter. And lately I've just been so hard to find the motivation to do that if I see a task come in or like a request from them, I'll be like, okay, I got it, no problem. But then I might procrastinate for like 5 hours. And then at the end of my day, I'm just like rushed. So I know like I'm not doing the best work I can, but I'm just having a really hard time motivating myself to get moving again.
So, just out of curiosity, when you noticed that happening to you during the pandemic, like,
Mhm.
what was the root of that, do you think?
It's a really good question. Back then, like years ago, I was just exhausted. Like, I think the whole world was exhausted for like a minute there. How we were all so overwhelmed. I was like emotionally overwhelmed. I had COVID too, so I was also hospitalized, which was a super stressful period of my life. And could probably do some more emotional digging there, but I was just so exhausted. Yeah.
So, what I'm hearing is during the pandemic, there was obviously a shift. There was an emotional shift, there was a physical shift. You had a lot going on. Now, the world is kind of like, quote unquote, back to normal. You're feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something. So, where do you want to be? Like, where do you want your productivity to be?
Well, I feel like you already said something that I was like, oh yeah, that kind of rings true. I feel like the rest of the world is moving on, and in a way, emotionally, like I'm not, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um,
So, what does that feel like for you? Like, in what way are you not?
I think I'm just like like everything else life wise, I'm starting to get back to. Like, I'm just now at the end of 2022 starting to like go back to restaurants, which is crazy because like people have been like getting back to normal routine things for so long. So I feel like in some way I'm a little behind. So I'm finally just getting back to that. But like work wise, I would love to be that person again that I was before the pandemic, where I could seriously just like wake up, have a cup of coffee, have a little like decompress morning time to myself, and then be focused. Like, really, like I used to be able to just sit at my laptop and like bang out work and feel really good about it and feel like my turnaround time was fast and just feel like I was like doing my best work. I guess I just want to feel, I guess I just want to feel like I'm doing a good job again. If that
So
makes sense.
I want to offer something because you said something really powerful that I don't even know if you realize that you said. Like, so you said the rest of the world is moving on and you're just taking a little longer. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, I just started going back to restaurants. I just started. And you said, and maybe that's kind of silly. I don't think that's silly at all. And so I just want to like remind you,
Really.
you're your own person. You're not in a timeline. There's no timeline. You're not like competing with anyone. And that pandemic for you, what I'm hearing, because you had COVID pretty bad, you had a lot going on, and you're your own person. And we all process and we all grieve and we all come out of our stuff at different times. So if it's taking you a little longer,
You're making me
that's
cry.
okay. And that's okay, because even that is that's a nervous system. That's your nervous system having a release, you know, because just be patient. I would just offer as a reflection, just be patient with yourself, because
Even just hearing you say you're your own person, you can take your time.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
give
look at these
yourself
tears.
permission. I know, babe. And you know what? Give yourself permission. Because I think too, if I could offer a reflection, and I think this is really normal. We're in business, we're trying to do well, and we want to compare ourselves. But you're not the rest of the world, you're Erin. And if Erin needs an extra year to like get her footing back, can you
God,
give your
that makes
can
me
you
feel so much relief.
can you give yourself permission to just be okay with turning around work a little slower still?
My God, yes. Even just hearing you say that, I just felt like this whole body release. I honestly
Oh,
can't
I
believe
love
you
that.
just found that pain point that fast. It's been like 5 minutes. And I really like even just feel like a physical lifting in my chest.
So close your eyes for a minute and just like put your hand on your chest
Okay.
and just take a deep inhale and then exhale and just take a couple slow deep breaths. And as you breathe, kind of just like feel your eyes soften and feel your shoulders soften. Excuse all the background noise. I apologize for that. Just
No, it's fine.
take a deep breath, feel your seat on your chair, and just remind yourself like it's okay. Are you comfortable verbally saying, I accept where I'm at?
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, it's funny because I'm like, yeah, I'm comfortable saying that, but actually feels very uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
I was not expecting that reaction. I accept where I'm at.
So I'm going to share something. I'm going to share a mental fitness tool with you. So
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that our brain, the best antidote for anxiety is action. Our
Okay.
brain, that's why I believe like words of affirmation, while they're great, they're not going to fix us because words are just words. We have to show our brain we're taking action and create a new neural pathway.
Okay.
So our energy flows, our energy goes where our attention flows. If your attention is like, I'm not where I used to be, I'm not how I used to be, right? We are reinforcing that neural pathway. When
Okay.
you feel that discomfort,
Mm-hmm.
get comfortable being uncomfortable and take
Okay.
action, because our brain doesn't understand language, our brain understands action. So
Okay.
a little homework assignment, quote unquote,
Okay.
assignment for you is this week, when you feel discomfort or you start finding yourself shoulding yourself or anything like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, just take an action. It doesn't even have to be work. It could be taking a walk, it could be breathing, it could be making healthy food, and just be mindful. So
Oh,
just take a
interesting.
break, reconnect to your body,
Okay.
and tell your brain these thoughts are not important to me anymore. I'm doing something different now. Because if you
Oh, I
want to,
love that.
yeah, so if you want your life to be different than it's ever been, you have to do things different than you've ever done. And part of doing that is by taking action. So a lot of times we end up deepening the neuro pathway of like,
Mhm.
ooh, I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I used to be. Well, we've now trained our brain to be like, hey, I'm not where I used to be. And I'm going to give you more thoughts about how we're not where we used to be. Where if
That
you,
actually makes perfect sense because I've been telling myself this for years now, repeatedly.
right, and that's okay. And so even you saying like putting your hand on your heart, having like an uncomfortable feeling, like even that's okay. And it's that discomfort that you go, okay, I'm uncomfortable right now. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna take 5 minutes away from my computer. I'm gonna make healthy food. I'm gonna take a walk around the block. Take an
Love.
action that's different, and whatever action you take, be really mindful. Or
Okay.
maybe it's like going, you know what? I want to take an action towards something I want to grow in my life, right? And just start
Mhm.
to show your brain these thoughts aren't that important to me anymore.
I love
And
that.
simultaneously just accepting like it's okay to take your time. If it takes you another year to get back on track, it's okay.
That seems so simple, but even you hearing, like, even you verbalizing that again, and I can feel everything get tighter. So I obviously need to do some emotional check-ins with myself, and I will keep telling myself that it's
Well, it's
okay.
taking action. And it's like
Oh my
when you
gosh.
find
Okay.
so this is interesting because I'm taking this call. I'm at the jujitsu gym right now, right? And
Hmm.
so one thing I love about jujitsu is you learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Somebody's choking you, someone's smushing you. It's really
Okay.
uncomfortable. And over time, you learn how to just breathe through it,
Oh,
right?
that is
And
interesting.
so
Okay.
when you feel that uncomfortable feeling and the temptation to loop on that story comes, I would challenge you to
Hmm.
just try taking a mindful action.
Okay.
Sometimes it helps me to even just like verbally say aloud, like, wow, I am really uncomfortable right now, and I don't need to understand why. I'm not going to try to make feelings feel better. I'm not trying to fight it. I just accept it. And I'm going to go bake some cookies and mindfully do that. Or I'm going to go, work on a song I've been working on, whatever it is.
I think I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
tell myself, like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm
And
going
it's
to do something
okay.
different,
And it's
and it's
okay.
okay.
It's okay to be uncomfortable. Like when you normally face discomfort, what do you do?
Mhm. I try to avoid discomfort at all points in my life completely.
You and
So,
everybody. You and everybody. So what we
okay.
do is we develop compulsions or impulses.
Yes.
Compulsions like I'm gonna check my phone, I'm gonna check social media, I'm gonna take a
Oh my
nap.
God. Yes, I've actually been doing those things more frequently, which is why I wanted to talk to you because it's been like a big shift, even in the last couple months, that I've been more like going to social media because I can just tune out, or like I've been more tired and taking more naps for sure. So that actually makes perfect sense.
And those are coping
Ugh.
skills we create to make feelings feel better. So if we can shift a little bit and say, I don't really need to make feelings feel better because having like emotions, think of emotions as energy and motion. They pass
Okay.
through you. But our
Okay.
brain, what does our brain do to protect us? Our brain gives us uncomfortable bodily sensations
Hmm.
and negative thoughts. And so we react to those. We're like, oh my God, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like doing this, right? And then we,
Yeah.
like you said, we create coping skills or, whether it's,
Yeah.
checking the phone, whatever it might be for you. We all have different compulsions.
Yeah. No, that's so interesting. And I don't think I even realized I was doing that more until I just verbalized it to you, but it's definitely been a noticeable increase. I really like your homework of taking action because it seems simple, but I like genuinely think it's going to be work, but
Well,
it's
if you can do something simple, to help you move the energy forward, what I
mhm.
often have clients do is make a garden of values. So think of actions that you value. You have fun with it. You can like put it on paper and put stickers and paint it and make it like your fancy garden and make bullets. So let's say you have 5 bullets in your garden and it's maybe physical exercise, growing my business, relationships, you know, um, spirituality, whatever. And
Yeah.
then under those bullets, make little bullets. Like physical exercise could be walking, riding my bike, taking
Okay.
karate, like, spirituality could be meditating, like
Huh.
whatever. Start to think of things that
Okay.
you value. Then
Okay.
when you start to notice, because now we're having this conversation, we're bringing these thoughts from the unconscious to the conscious mind. So now when you
Mhm.
consciously go, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm grabbing my phone again and I'm beating myself up for not being productive. Okay, let me look at my garden of values and pick something that I want to work on right now to show my brain that I'm not
that.
like, I'm not a slave to these compulsions anymore.
That's such a great tip, because I know if I don't have a plan, and this
Yeah.
is true for my business too, if I don't have a plan that I can just turn to quickly, I won't do anything at all. So I love that suggestion. I can
Yeah.
definitely do that.
So
That does make me feel better.
your
I have
word
to
for the
say
day
here,
is
oh, I
acceptance.
get a word.
Your
Okay.
word is acceptance.
That makes me feel very uncomfortable.
And that's okay, because what are
And
we
I will go take a
practicing?
walk because that
Yeah.
word makes me feel uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
that's really powerful. And I have to admit, the way that you like very quickly identified something that I really wasn't aware of emotionally that was like running in the back of my mind, and the way that you very like calmly and compassionately and kindly,
Oh, thank you.
like that's just, those are the words coming to my mind, how I feel right now. Like you're just so
Thank you.
compassionate in the way that you were able to just walk me through next steps without judgment or shame or anything. That is a really beautiful thing.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Because I want to share with you quickly. I know both of us probably have other meetings, but like I just want to share with you quickly that I am so passionate about this work because I've been there, and I had anxiety so bad before I started my own walk into this coaching journey that I couldn't focus. I was like head in the clouds, foggy brain, taking naps, checking social
Totally.
media 1,000 times a day, and couldn't, had to call 10 people to talk about why I feel so anxious. And it was like, the more I did those actions, my brain was like, oh, all this stuff is really important to Lara. I'm going to give her more anxiety and more discomfort and more adrenaline. It wasn't until I learned the emotional fitness to go, okay, I need to stop this in its tracks. And it took a solid like month of doing the internal work. And mental fitness is like physical fitness. It's going to start with 5-pound weights, take your walk as many times as you need to.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that actually, that makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
So that was my most vulnerable moment. Usually on this channel, I just share tips and tools and hacks. But I wanted to really take this moment and just tell you guys, my supporters, the viewers, that it's actually okay not to be okay. It's totally okay to be vulnerable, to need to ask for help. And if you are also in a position these days where you're feeling a lack of motivation, a lack of productivity, a lack of focus, brain fog, I hope that Coach Lara's words resonated with you guys. I am going to link to her website below just in case you want to check out more of her work. But I hope also you got some key takeaways, just like I did from this mini coaching session. The things I've been able to do since I've taken this coaching session is really implement action versus procrastination. So I've been trying really hard to be more active. And anytime I approach a new task that I'm either feeling too tired or just frankly don't want to do, I'm taking a quick 5-minute break to grab water, a quick spread, or a quick stretch, or I'm headed to the gym, or I'm taking a walk around the block outside. And it has been a simple, and thank you for Lara for reiterating that sometimes the solution can be simple, but it has been a simple but effective technique for me as well. And thanks to her, I was able to get some motivation back to start up with my regularly scheduled YouTube videos. So this video will be one of my few peeks under the hood of my emotional vulnerability. And next week, we will get back to more tips for virtual assistants and running your VA business. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.